A sex therapist from Los Angeles says that Trump's win has caused women to lose their sex drives. So her name is Kimberly Resnick Anderson, and she claims that she calls it the Trump bedroom effect. She claims that it's still running weeks after his victory over Hillary Clinton, and she says that she has a number of patients. The reason why she's even stating this and wrote an article about it is because a high number of her patients have come to her, and they've all listed this same problem that they're having in the bedroom because of Trump's win, and they all have different reasons. So she says, one of my patients admitted, quote, since Trump won, the thought of having sex is unappealing to me. All I can picture is him boasting about exploiting women. It makes me sick. While another couple, she says, quote, sat in my office and said, if you support Trump in any way, shape, or form, then we do not share core values. And if we do not share core values, it's hard to be sexually attracted to you. So that's one couple's going through that. And then she also said that she's had couples where the woman in this case will be a victim of sexual assault at some point in their life, and then everything that Trump said over the campaign trail, from grab him by the pussy to things that he said about certain women and candidates and things like that, and Rosie O'Donnell, it was like re-victimizing to them. So she said that she's dealing with some of her clients that have that sexual assault history, that it somehow re-victimized them, and then they see that their partner voted for him. Even though their partner may have voted for him for completely different reasons, they still can't get over the fact that their partner voted for him, knowing that he said those things, knowing that their partner were a victim of sexual assault. And then finally, she says, though, that the solution, she says, is, quote, sex is a healing, rejuvenating activity and might be just what you need to reconnect. So get back at it. Thoughts, 5 words or less?
Pussy grabbers are not sexy.
Trump, the ultimate Ladywood killer.
Yeah. F Trump.
This makes sense. When I first saw the title, it didn't make sense to me. I said, this seems ridiculous. But then when she broke it down, especially if you're like a victim of sexual assault, and then when she broke it down to the other couple, that it's about core values, and even though your partner may have voted for him for completely different reasons, maybe it's just, in their mind, it's like the economy or whatever, they still see that as, you share different values than I do, and now I am like harboring resentment, and it's hard to be sexual. And for women, you know, especially, and this is a proven fact, it's more emotional than physical, oftentimes. So I guess if it's impacting them emotionally, I understand why it could harbor resentment and maybe hurt the libido.
For men too, though, I mean, you make a great point that women are more emotionally connected to
well, that's just based on from whatever science, but I'm sure men, of course, men want appreciation. There's an emotional attachment too, but they're also more physically driven than women.
But like, let's say, so like, you know, we're both in relationships. Let's say you have a fight with Mark, or I have a fight with Munchkin about something, and then, you know, or Jason. His name is Jason too, guys. He's short and they call him Munchkin. Sex is not it's really hard to reconnect when you feel, when you have a deep visceral response about something you feel so passionate about. So, and also when you're stressed out about things, and this election's been very stressful for a lot of people, the last thing you want to do is have sex. I mean, at least that's what I got from the article, but I did my research on this woman because I thought a large number of people, like, how many patients does she have to say that this is a growing problem in LA? 5, 3, 4.
What did it say?
No, it didn't say. It didn't give a number at all.
How many? 3?
When you're writing an article like this, it's called 1-2 trend. That's what they do. That's a saying that writers of articles have. 1-2 trend. You find 3 things in common, and now you can write a story about it.
Although she listed more than 3 different patients' problems.
But it could be.
She had the couple one, then she had the sexual assault victim, then she listed one that was just harboring resentment. So she listed more than 2 or 3.
But Sam, she could have had 6 patients that week that coincidentally were just talking about the election, and may have, you know, because when you go to a therapist, they ask you, tell me what's going on.
Right.
And you'll say, oh, I'm stressed out about work. The election. Another couple comes in.
Yeah.
Stressed out about money. Oh, this election. So
that's a great point. And being in California and being in Los Angeles, we're more, generally speaking, progressive. So it's going to happen more here than, let's say, she was a therapist in maybe a red state.
You have trouble in your relationship. Like, they're already seeing a relationship counselor. There are issues with their sex life. So this is just another thing you could possibly lump on it. But I get it. Like, imagine trying to have sex and suddenly you just picture Donald Trump. Like, you're not going to get more into it, or you're, like, in foreplay. But I feel like, yeah, definitely a lot of people at this point in their, you know, year, looking at the results of the election are just like, I'm not in the mood. And this is specifically the reason why. Like, my girlfriend made me go get weed because I was like so depressed.
How was it?
Eh,
Did you do vapor or like actual?
I just have a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, no, it's not help. It's not gonna help. You gotta get to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
You know, I think that, Brett, you bring up a good point about these people were going to be having some relationship problems anyway, and so digging to the root of it, it's not super unheard of that there would be some commonalities, and especially given that we've seen the wall-to-wall coverage of this election, because we are a country divided right now, unfortunately. It's not surprising that people would feel bombarded with this, and that you can't escape it. You can't escape it. Every fucking news article, every channel that you're going on, every comedian that you go see, it's all about the election. You know, you're hearing even, you go to a concert, you want to escape, and someone wants to make a statement about the election, even if you agree with what they're saying. For example, I know that I think we reported on Adele saying something that she was against Trump at a concert, and the crowd, was like, yeah, I support that, but it still is a reminder of like, oh my God, what is going on right now in the world. So it wasn't that surprising to read. I believe that these stories are true. I certainly don't think she's making this up or anything. But I think a big part of it is just because it's an inescapable reality that we now are living in, and we don't know what we're facing down yet because there's so much uncertainty, and that sort of uncertainty and anxiety and stress can build
I'm not
itself up,
convinced
and then you
it's
don't want to
real.
have sex.
Wait a second. How are you not convinced it's real?
I just feel like, celebrity relationship counselor isn't like my barometer for the truth.
I'll tell you why
Like, I feel like this is a really, proven by the fact that every article out there boils back down to Trump somehow, is the idea that there would be an article out there that I would want to click on with the title like Trump kills sex drive in America.
Yeah,
it's more the dynamic that we're all in right now. We want to find stuff that makes us angry or confirms our pre-existing,
Or
proclivities.
if you're not having sex right now, maybe you're unsure about your body, that's also correlates to this time of year. Everyone's eating where you're like, I don't feel great about myself. It's a time of year when you're always thinking about your loved ones. Where are you with your life? We're going into 2017. How do I feel? And then you can look at this. You can look at this article and be like, well, maybe
I don't
Trump
think
is
it's
the reason.
No, I
Think
think the dynamic is like, this is another thing that Trump's ruining.
Yeah,
and I think it's that dynamic. I don't think it's like
they know that people will click on
that
it.
title, yes, is sensational. I agree. However, I disagree in the sense that I know when you were very raw at that point when we first talked about the election, you were saying how you wouldn't be able to be friends or respect someone that voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you're also,
but at a time,
hold
we were
on.
all at a time and
We were
place.
all at that point, and you have to, and believe me, I felt that way to some degree too, and I had the same conversation with my other friend, you know her, who is gay. She's a lesbian, and her parents voted for Trump.
You
and
probably know her. That's
her
what she
parents
meant to
voted
say.
for Trump, and they voted for Trump for very different reasons. But for her, she couldn't separate the fact that his rhetoric and a lot of the people that supported him were very anti-LGBT, more so because of Pence. So you can imagine if a couple has these deep beliefs and core beliefs about LGBTQ rights and all these things, and then their partner votes the opposite. I can't understand how someone's going to harbor resentment because they really see that how could their partner vote for Pence
And
or
that
for
would
Trump?
carry over in the bedroom.
And
you
that's
don't
what
want
it
to. You don't want to be
does.
intimate with
Absolutely.
someone.
It's going to spill into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Remember how you felt? So
No, I
how would it
do,
not,
yeah.
if Lizzie voted for Trump, how would that not spill into your relationship?
Right,
Absolutely.
but it's fixation. It's fixation. I think that happens for various reasons about sex. Like, I know there's things I can do once that my girlfriend will look at me, and as I'm trying to convince her to have sex with me, she'll think about it and be like, "Oh no, not today." Like, "Oh, the way you picked up that trash bag was really embarrassing. I can't picture that person in a sexual way." Trump is one of those things, so I see it that way.
And what I meant by checking the receipts on this woman, because you go to her website, she's been on Good Morning America, the Today Show. There's a lot of these sex experts that tour and make all these allegations for their own personal gain.
Oh,
their own
yeah.
So I'm thinking like, okay, you're using Trump to further your agenda of getting more press, but she does make valid points. And also, living in Los Angeles is just fucking stressful in general. Traffic, taxes, it's just a lot.
Yes.
So sex is probably the last thing you think about You know, for at least for me.
Well, we
Also,
had
women-
remember the story where it said like the most sexually active couples in like LA was like way on the bottom.
Yeah, there's
What?
so
It
many
was like
reasons not-
Pennsylvania or some random place that had great sex.
Yeah,
What?
all those
Yeah.
Amish just going nuts.
Nothing else to do, and it's always dark.
Yeah.
I'm
Another
so
reason.
surprised.
Yeah, because there's no lights.
no
I got it.
electricity.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was stupid. What was I going to say? Oh, another reason that
Final
these
thought.
married couples might not be having sex is because they're married. That's it. Like, I think there's a lot of
Sam
reasons.
laughed a little
That's
too hard at
funny.
that.
I'm married.
Sam
was like,
puts
"That
in the
is
pudding, my friend.
Hey, it takes work. You got it. And once you get into I relate it, and this is a terrible analogy. I relate it to when I used to play piano. Sometimes I didn't feel like I wanted to play piano, then I started to play
And
piano.
it was great.
I loved playing piano. You just when you're a married
gotta
couple,
play
you just
piano.
gotta
Tickle the ivories.
you gotta you gotta get into it, and then you'll have fun. But
Right.
sometimes it can be you're tired. He's tired or she's tired, but then you just gotta
You gotta play the major
Once
keys,
it-
but occasionally get those like dark minor key.
All right. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any sort of like relation to this, like if you can relate to this article, please share your story. I'm curious. And we'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.